Running backroads of America and live from the G&D Show studios, this is your Ghostman and Demon Hunter
Show. Doesn't that sound exciting to you?
Hey, welcome back, Shadow Nation, to the one, the only, mystifying Oracle of Radio, your Ghostman and Demon Hunter Show, Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a moment. I got some young whippersnappers out on my studio lawn. I gotta chase them with my cane.
You old fart. Special thanks to all our homes, all our sponsors, Stitcher Smart Radio, Planet Paranormal, Action Audio Apps. Are you guys listening? I don't know if you are, but they want to know, so check them out at actionaudioapps.net or .com, I forget. The SYL Project. Give some love, share some love. Help. Yeah, .com. Help those in need, guys. Special thanks to our paranormal friends out in Paranormal A Radio Network in Canada.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for being so very cool. Back in studio. Sunday night!
Sunday.
We lived another week.
That day when everybody gets together in the sun.
Yeah. We lived another week.
Day.
My son, my middle son, turns 10 years old on the 9th of August.
A decade.
A decade. That's right. And we celebrated his birthday party this weekend because his mother will have him next weekend. So we had a birthday party, and he's really into that WWE. You know, I took him to the wrestling thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And he seemed to be having a good time as you got pictures of him jumping up and down.
He had a blast. And I got him the little action figures, you know, with the mat and all that stuff so they can play on it. And he, you know, that was within the price range, you know, $100, $120. Yeah. And then we go out and he says, Dad, I want, you know, some more Kobe's. Now, Kobe is, when we were younger, Jordans, all the cool kids wore. Remember that? The athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Although I never had a pair. I was an athlete.
I never had a pair of Jordans.
Yeah, I was an athlete. I never had a pair of Jordans. If I was lucky to get
that was Reebok, right?
I don't know. We went to Payless Shoes with the Pro Wings. That was the top shelf of the cheap shoes.
I just remember I used to save my allowance forever. And since I only got $2 a week in allowance, it took me a long time to save it up. And
so
whatever my parents were willing to spend at like Payless for the shoes, or back then it was Kinney shoe stores, I think it was, I would throw the extra in to get a pair of Nikes.
Oh, yeah.
So I could have Nikes.
I thought you was going to say you were shaving up to $2 a month since you were a kid. So this week is you're ready to get your first pair of Jordans. I don't know. It's gotten out of control, though. I'll tell you that much, because I just dumped, and they were on sale. I dumped $120 on a pair of shoes. Whew. $120 for a pair of plastic shoes that are colored like somebody vomited, you know? And it's not just Jordans anymore. That's what I was going to say. Apparently, everybody that can shoot hoops now has their own shoe.
Well, of course.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
They can't live on the $800,000 a year they're making as a secondary player on a professional basketball team.
I know. It's ridiculous that you ask us to live off $600 billion contracts. Or $600 million. Well, LeBron James, off of Nike alone, I read somewhere, he makes like an annual $20 million or something, just off the back end of that. Not to mention the money he has in the bank, you know, and what the whoever the heck he's paying.
Think of the broadcast weekends we could bring people, Sean. We have $20 million a month.
No, absolutely. It was crazy. But anyway, took him down to my uncle's house, had the pool party. Niece and nephew were there, and blah, 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 blah. And he's going to get older again. So, yeah, he starts football this week, which is very exciting. The only thing not exciting is when you, in a divorced situation, you have to drive that hour to see the, 40-minute football game, then an hour back. So that kind of takes the fun out of it.
Well, it's anticipation.
Yes, anticipation. Anticipating the hour drive back home. So what else is going on in the world? What's going on over there on your side?
I feel like I missed everything this weekend, Sean.
You did. I heard
the last few weeks, I've had a lot going on. I've had family reunions. Yeah. I've had trips. I've had cons. I've been doing all this great stuff.
Oh, my God.
And I had this weekend off. And I thought to myself, I'm going to do something for the Demon Hunter. I'm going to go and do something fun.
There you go.
So I thought, you know what? My hometown, Newton, New Jersey, one town over in Augusta, New Jersey.
Right.
The New Jersey State Fair this week.
Oh, that's kind of early. It's kind of
Yeah,
early.
the Sussex County Farm and Horse Show. Always the first week of August, if I recall.
Sussex, right?
Sussex County Farm and Horse Show.
Right.
You know, when I was a little kid, I used to bring my goats there when I was on the goat farm. And
Right.
bring them in, show the goats, and you'd have to actually spend the night at the fair.
Yeah.
Because
Beat me up.
kids had to stay at the fair
Right.
to take care of the goats. Somebody had to feed them at night, again in the morning, had to milk the goats when they needed milking, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And so I grew up at that fair. I loved that fair. And I thought,
Yeah.
this year I'm going back to the fair.
Yeah.
And I got up Saturday morning, ate a little breakfast, did a
Exciting.
few chores around the house.
Got your Joe
ran
Dirt
out
wig
and
on.
grabbed a few things I needed and thought, okay, I'm going to go to the fair. And as I'm driving home, I get a text from my boss saying, can you do a job today? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't go to the fair.
Well, the answer is no.
Well, when they offered double time, I mean, we do have to pay for our microphone time.
Well, yeah.
Oh, good grief.
Not all money is good money, my friend, if you're going to the fair and there's not, a second chance. And apparently with you, it's all nostalgic, so.
Yeah, well, it is running again next weekend, so who knows?
Oh, there you go. You didn't
Maybe
say
I'll get
that.
down to the fair next weekend.
You didn't come out and say that. Did you throw on your Joe Dirt wig?
I don't need the wig. I've got the hair. Well, no, I don't have the hair anymore.
Do you still have the handlebar mustache? I haven't seen you. in a
No,
while.
I shaved it off, and too many jobs I go into, I need to wear a mask now to keep myself from breathing in noxious fumes.
in the mouth.
And that's just the homes that need cleaning.
Right.
It's,
Dirty undies. Have
not
you
even
ever
involved
done
with
that?
Chemicals.
You've been
But,
on a job and you've seen somebody's streaked up underwear.
You don't want to know the things I've seen, man.
I do. You
I've
can't.
seen.
You can't reveal on the show, can you?
things that you wouldn't believe.
Whatever, man. When I was a teenager or just became like 20s and stuff like that, I worked for Roto-Rooter, remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Punch you in the mouth.
It was terrible, man. They would send me on these jobs. One time, there's this, I'll share with you. I don't work for them anymore, so they can kiss it. But I was they hire you in as a apprentice or whatever, and they don't tell you that half your check's going to go to a van that you got to buy and your equipment and all that. And they sent me to this club in downtown Indianapolis, and it said on the came up on the computer. It said the call was for a gym, a workout facility. So anyway, I went down there, and all I did was I was the Roto-Rooter guy. I had the cable and I snaked out the drains or whatever. And they were digging out the front water main or the sewer main, and it had collapsed, and they had to replace it. Terrible job. And I had to go in, and when I first walked in. Are you listening?
Yeah.
When I first walked in to the
I'll punch you in the mouth.
the front foyer there was a guy. You're familiar with the YMCA song,
Oh yeah.
The Village People. You're familiar with that band.
Yeah. Was he wearing all the leather?
He was! I'm not kidding you. He was sitting in a booth with purple fur around the window, and it had a little hole in it where you would get the key to your locker. And
So it was a bathhouse.
it was an all men's exclusive bathhouse. So I remember I was going down the hallway, and on the right and on the left you could see the big windows, and I was wondering why would they have windows, in a workout facility, and they had the pink fur and the purple fur around the windows, and inside it would have like a bench with some weight on it. Mostly it was machines, and then they would throw in like handcuffs. So it wasn't just like a gay gentleman's club. It was, I guess, a gay, I don't know what you'd call it, bondage? I don't know.
Sounds like a bathhouse, man.
No, bathhouses is where you go and you can have sex with women and men. I guess anything goes, but it's not bondage, right? They don't whip each other and handcuff each other. So anyway, this place.
Apparently they do.
So I talked to the one guy, and I didn't even notice, but behind him there was, pornos playing. And here I am in my blue little jumpsuit, young, Roto-Rooter on my
They thought
shirt.
you were in costume showing up for...
They thought I was doing the party, man. The 3 o'clock. So anyway, he says, it's downstairs, the drain that was stopped up or whatever. So, oh my God. I go downstairs. It's a real dark hallway. And downstairs they must have had a fog machine. You know that smell that the fog machine puts off, like that cherry aroma?
Yeah, the almond scent.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm walking down the stairs, and I get down there, and there's guys in towels, and there's guys dressed in leather chaps and stuff. I never told you a story, did I?
No.
And
I'm really glad that the first time I'm hearing it is with thousands of listeners.
yeah. Well, I'm going to tell all here the Ghost Man's true story. And no, I'm down there in the whatever the heck it is, the man cave, and I see like 4 drains. So I'm thinking, well, that's where I gotta. That's what needs to be fixed because I can see the water's backed up in there. So I go up to the van. I bring down the snake. Snake out the drain. No jokes. And I'm doing my job.
Ooh.
I'm doing my job, trying to get everything done. It's real quiet down there, and I look up, and there's like a line of gentlemen, and it looks like they just took showers, and they all have towels on, their lower half, and some of them had on t-shirts, some of them didn't, and they're staring right at me. Some of them, and let's just say their hands were under each other's towels, and they were moving. I got my stuff and got out. I left. I had to. And that was, I can't believe I didn't tell you that. That was one of the most weird situations I've ever, besides as a ghost and all that stuff, the houses, we've met people and weird things happen. But that was, the towels were going crazy, up and down, up and down. So I was going,
as
wow.
you know, Sean, everybody always talks about the fact that they make jokes that, I've done every job out there.
Yeah.
And I've never been a professional plumber.
Oh, I've done something you haven't.
Yep. But my father was a professional plumber.
There you go.
Taught me little bits and pieces about it. So my friends would often ask me, can you do this job for me? Can you help me out with this?
Yeah.
And it always starts off with, I just need this, and it would grow bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
And so one of my friends was renting this house out that he had.
Okay.
And he said, I've got guys coming and working on the job, but I'm going to be away. Can you just go and make sure they do the job right?
Right.
So that's easy enough. You're doing a favor for a friend. I go. And they're digging up the lines to the septic tank in the back.
Right.
And they disconnect the pipe to the septic tank.
Okay. Yeah.
The smell, first of all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Nothing good can come out of this. But I'm sitting there, and they're talking, and all of a sudden, one of the guys starts yelling. And he pops up, and apparently somebody up in the apartment must have flushed a toilet.
Okay.
Even though they've been told not to flush the toilets,
right.
Somebody went up to flush the toilet. So we're all sitting there, and this guy's yelling, and he's hopping out of the hole that they just dug to get down there to the tank. And all of a sudden, the guys start laughing because out of the toilet starts coming out of the pipeline starts coming like condoms.
Oh.
And we're like, do these people know they have a septic tank that they don't? This is getting all going to a tank. It's not.
Oh my God.
I was just like,
oh, that's terrible.
It was pretty bad.
Oh, so what'd you do?
I just was like, can you guys? And they finished what they were doing, put everything back together, and buried it back with the condoms and everything down in there in the dirt. They were like, we're not touching it. It's
oh, my God. Yeah, well, the things you see, I guess, at the sewage treatment
things
plant.
we flush are not always kept secretly.
Your trash is another man's gold. Maybe he's a condom artist. They make art out of everything anymore.
They do.
I mean,
they do.
Literally, you and I could
would not buy art made of used condoms.
You and I could collect. You remember when school started, back to school days, when we had under every desk was about a gallon jug worth of used bubble gum.
Oh, yeah.
We could steal that off the desk and make, I swear to God, make like a pretty horse picture, and people would go stare at it, and we'd probably be famous someday once we die.
Let me ask you, Sean. Do they still have garbage pickup days where you are, where like you can put like all your giant stuff you want to get rid of from the house out on the street?
Yeah, my gum horse painting. And no, they do, seriously. It's like once a month or something.
Once a month?
Yeah, for the big stuff.
Oh, good grief.
See, we don't have that.
Really? Connecticut's tightwads, huh?
Well, certain towns have it, and other towns will have a place where you can drop off your large items yourself, and you get like a ticket. and you get 10 stamps on the ticket.
Okay.
And you can come in like 10 times in a year. And
Okay. Well,
drop off this
refrigerators,
stuff.
couches, right?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. But where I live, no. They once a year they have dumpster day, and they have giant dumpsters. But you have to load everything into your car and drive it there yourself.
That's kind of lame, man.
Yeah. So if like you don't have a pickup truck,
Yeah.
or you don't have a large station wagon or something, and you have like a dresser you want to get rid of, forget it.
Right.
And the place where you have to drop off, say, a dresser or something like that is different from where you drop off a refrigerator.
Oh,
And
because
where
they
you have
like
to
recycle.
drop off the refrigerator is different from where you have to drop off a computer.
Right, because they want like to recycle the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a once-a-year thing, and I kind of miss the days of my youth when everybody just put it out on the street corner and they came and took it, because one of the biggest joys of being a kid was to walk through everybody else's garbage and see what they were throwing out.
And we still do that because Stacy, my wife, has brought in our basement other people's trash. I mean, granted, it needs work, but she brought in some really antique cabinets and something else and put it downstairs, and apparently it's going to be a way down the road kind of job.
See, now that I'm an
so.
exterminator, I wouldn't do that anymore, though.
Well, yeah, and you can bring in bugs and stuff. I told her it needs
yeah?
to sit outside for like a month before or at least in the garage.
People always ask me, dude, what about bed bugs? Tell me bed bug stories. And I'm sitting there going, I'll tell you the 5 main ways
It's nasty.
that you get bed bugs.
How do you get them?
Number 1,
Do I need to Google?
I saw this really cool thing along the street and I picked it up.
Okay.
That's the number 1 way.
Bed bugs are in items? I thought they lived in moist, damp areas.
No, bed bugs. Well, actually, people always think that the bed bugs live inside your mattress.
Yeah.
They'll climb all over your mattress, but more likely they are actually in the wooden frames and metal frames of the mattress.
Oh, wow.
That's where they lay the eggs.
Hey, guys, it's free tips here from your
Free
exterminator.
tips there. And they will lay their eggs in the mattress as well, but they lay them in the seams. Or if the mattress has a hole in it, then they'll crawl inside.
Okay.
But they look for little seams, and they look for the wooden beds worst. I mean, you remember those wooden beds? You put the slot into the metal frame into the slot.
Yeah.
It's in there. Those little slots in those wooden frames, that's where the bed bugs love to live.
That's disgusting. And at night, they come out.
Number 2.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 way
Yeah.
that you get bed bugs.
How you doing?
I went on vacation and stayed at a friend's house or hotel.
And brought it back in your suitcase on your clothes.
Brought it back in your suitcase. I tell people all the time, look along the seams of the mattress before you stay in a hotel. Pull up the sheets, look along the seams. Leave your clothes and your bags in the bathroom if there's room.
Yeah.
Do not put them on the floor
Right.
in the sleeping area if possible, because that's how you bring them home. Number 3, I had a friend come and stay.
Oh, man.
Because people don't somebody's not going to tell you if they have bed bugs.
Hey, I got some
Honestly,
good
they're
time.
not going to tell you if they have bed bugs because they don't want that stigma put upon them that it's dirt.
Right.
It's a dirty way to live.
Right.
But anybody can get them.
It's like you have
And I'll tell you how anybody can get them in the next 2 steps. Number 4, the people next door got them.
And they migrate.
They're not big migrators, but what happens is people get them in their beds or in their couch or something like that, and they don't want to pay an exterminator to come, and so they go and buy this stuff at stores. I'm not going to throw out the title names, but it's the over-the-counter stuff you buy to treat them.
Right. Yeah.
And they start trying to treat them themselves.
Why not?
And this stuff is mainly a kill-on-contact spray.
Oh.
So
You have to make
anything
contact.
you don't kill runs away.
Right. Yeah.
And now instead of having them in your bed, you have them in your curtains, you have them in your electrical circuit wires, you have them in the floorboards,
So basically,
and they go into the neighbor's apartments.
bed bugs are invading.
Yes.
I think they are.
Number 5,
Yeah.
I had a new bed delivered.
Oh, brand new from the store.
Brand new. And I'm not saying
bugs.
anything bad about stores, folks, delivering your beds, but
No.
I remember when I bought my bed, I bought the floor model.
We don't want to get sued, folks.
No.
Yeah.
But I bought the floor model.
Oh, it's nasty. People laid on it.
Well, that didn't worry me because they kept it clean and everything like that. But the thing is, it wasn't wrapped in plastic or anything like that.
You don't know what happens late at night in those stores.
Well,
Nathan.
this is the thing you have to remember, and this is especially with if you're having the frames and things delivered as well.
Yeah.
when you order a bed, you have them take your bed away.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. If you
And so did the guy that did it before you, and the guy before that.
pay like an extra $20,
Right. So what if the guy before you had bed bugs?
and they put it in the truck.
Yeah.
See?
So there's number 4. That's big problem there. Or that's number 5. That's
People
number
don't think about that stuff.
Yep. So that's number 5, and
I
that's why
wouldn't.
$1 million homes can wind up with bed bugs.
Yeah. I mean,
So
people
it's
do all that stuff.
the only thing I can tell you, folks, and this isn't advertising for me because I don't give out my company name over the air, just in case I ever say anything really bad.
Yeah,
and
don't do it.
I don't want the company to fire me.
You get fired. You don't want
But
to do that.
if you find out that you do have bed bugs, don't be ashamed of the fact, because anybody can get them. But
Right.
hire somebody who knows what they're doing to get rid of them. Because when
They
you
should be
try to
ashamed.
self-treat, all you're doing is spreading them around, and then when the people you hire come in, they
You're
really can't do a whole lot to help you.
You're self-medicating
Yes.
when you do that. Don't self-medicate.
But there are few exterminator tips from the Ghostman and Demon Hunter show.
Hey, thank
Also,
you.
The Bug Killer show.
The Bug Smasher, Demon Hunter,
Ghostman.
Shadow Nation. Tonight's guest.
Do-do-do.
Do. Tonight's guest. Since he was a young age, he's been fascinated with magic. So was I, actually. He has amazed and stunned crowds across the country with what some call his dark illusions. He packs theaters after theater, from Scarefest to Comic-Con and many more. Tonight, the Dark Master of Illusion, Reed Masterson, stops by. We're gonna follow him on his journey, possibly to the bright lights of Las Vegas, inside the life of a young master illusionist from Reed and Ashton's Masterson's ImpossibleMagic.net. Guys, he's gonna stop by tonight. He's gonna tell us the dark secrets, only at the home of the mystifying Oracle Radio, your Ghostman Demon Hunter show.
Good, because I really wanted to know where that rabbit went back to when they put it back in the hat.
Or that gerbil.
I don't want to know what you did with the gerbil.
Watch this gerbil disappear from my I don't know. Have you seen any good movies lately?
The last movie I went to see, Sean, now
was
that I don't work for the movie companies anymore.
You don't work for him. Yeah, that's right.
I don't get free movies anymore. Although I've seen more movies
Yeah.
that I've paid for since I left working for the movie companies than I saw when I worked for them
Okay.
for free.
All right.
Because there was never any time.
Yeah.
But the last movie I went to see was Jurassic World. And I gotta say, good movie.
Great movie.
Not as good as the first one,
You're
but better
insane.
than the second two.
You're old. You're insane.
No, are you kidding? They could not possibly do anything with Jurassic to top
Yeah.
that feeling that we got the first time we saw Jurassic World. Yeah, maybe it's got better a cool storyline or
Better
cool
everything.
special effects, but the special effects of Jurassic World changed movie making, and that didn't happen with this movie.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I was just asking. I watched some. I've been on a classic kick. Spooky, scary movies, and of course, James Wan came out with The Conjuring a couple years back, and we had people on the show that were actually involved in that real life story, and that show really captured, I think, the feel that I love in a scary movie. And of course, it was about Ed and Lorraine, and they did their thing. The Warrens guys, if you don't know, one of the world's, or I'm sorry, the United States, one of the oldest documented demonologists. But it really captured that feel, don't you think, with The Conjuring?
I did. I felt I mean, I was not thrilled with Annabelle,
Right? Yeah. Well,
but
Hollywood's got to change.
Yeah, Conjuring changed. It brought back that feeling
It did.
that you got watching Amityville Horror.
Exactly. Oh my God, I was just going to say that. See, we think.
And
alike.
also,
took 9
Sean,
years.
I have to say, I did watch recently the movie. It Follows.
Was that good? I seen it on Netflix and stuff. I've never watched it.
You know what?
It's got a lot of high rating.
It's a thinking movie. It's not an action film. It's not a ghost story. It's not a movie about possession or anything like that.
That's not for daddy.
I make jokes all the time that it's a movie about STDs, sexually transmitted demons.
Well, it's like it's about a girl that has sex with a guy and the demon follows her or something.
Right, but anybody, the premise of the movie is you have sex with this person.
Yes.
And now the demon is after you.
It's worth it, depending on...
Until you have sex with somebody else.
Yeah.
And then the demon will be after them. But if it catches that person,
Yeah.
then it comes back for you and works its way back down the line until it gets to the first person that it started with.
So was the demon like a sex demon? Did he...
It was a sex demon, yes. And it stole your energy by having sex with you.
So
I guess it would be a succubus or an incubus or something like that.
So you got to tell me one thing. I know we don't do spoilers on this show. Well, you don't. I do. You know, you get mad because I spoil shows for people. I like doing that. But was the guy she slept with like a demon in human form, or was it just some guy that had demon seed?
This is not a huge spoiler here, but it is in the storyline.
Yeah.
He did catch the demon from meeting a girl at a bar.
Yeah.
And so, guys, next time you're at a bar and a girl gives in easy, you know, she might have a demon attached to her.
Go ahead and do it, guys. This message is supported by the GhostMan&Demon show. Go ahead and do it. I mean,
it's a real thinking movie, Sean.
We have Priest.
It's not like slasher movie. It's not like anything like that. The one thing that threw me about it was that you never really know what time period it takes in. Period. Because they're all dressed like it's 1975.
Right.
But they've got like Apple phones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, when is this happening?
Right. What is it? Retro Day or something? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but getting back to James Wan, a great director, but I'm not taking anything away from him, but how hard is it to think back, oh my God, the Amityville Horror. It had that no fancy CGI, no BS, this could really happen feel to it.
Yeah.
And, like Poltergeist, they killed it, man. I seen it. They killed it. I'm going to say it. They killed Poltergeist.
Well,
they
I
killed
did
it.
Get to see Poltergeist as well.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And the best thing that happened in the entire remake of Poltergeist,
the ending,
was at the very beginning when they're
the
driving
end.
down the road. The word poltergeist appears in the grass.
Yeah.
And that was the coolest special effect they had in the entire movie.
Yeah, well, thanks Hollywood for ruining it again. They definitely
well,
out
you know
of
what? The thing too is, Sean, we've been in the TV and film business.
Unfortunately, yes, we have.
So we know
the inside.
That they're not looking to make the best thing out there. They're looking to sell.
Yeah.
An idea.
They want the money.
They could have named this anything else.
Yeah.
They could have named this, the housing monster or the suburban Satan or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it would have been an okay movie.
Yeah. They
But
could have
to
changed
name
it.
Poltergeist and to destroy
I'm sick of it, yeah.
the image
I can't
of
do
Poltergeist to those of us who grew up with it, there was no reason for this movie. The original Poltergeist holds to this day.
Right.
Some of the CGI, or it's not even CGI.
And you mark my words, baby
special
brother.
effects.
Hollywood's getting so bold. They are going to step up and they're going to ruin Jaws and ruin The Exorcist. Mark my words.
Well,
Mark my words.
Did you read the news stories I sent you this week?
Mark them. No, of course I haven't. I haven't looked at the headlines.
Well, I mean the titles yet, because there
No, I
is
didn't.
one in there regarding The Exorcist.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
Yeah, well, you'll see it when we go to the news. But
I never got to tell you, I'm sorry to interrupt there, like I always do for 9 years, but I actually am trying to book on our show, I forget the cat's name now, he's a father, he is the priest that the movie The Rite was based on, the young priest, and it was hard to track him down, but I found his information, I had to go through the diocese, and it's out in California, and let's see what he says. A lot of people are kind of hesitant when it comes, from a religious thing, even though, don't bash God or anything. We have nothing against religion.
No, we love God.
We do. We love him. But a lot of people
He's kept us alive through a lot of crazy things.
But people think because we like to joke and have fun the first hour that, oh God, these guys aren't serious. That was why we came out with this show, because everybody out there is serious and stagnant.
And we needed a release from all that seriousness.
I mean, where's the human spirit at in these paranormal shows, It's dry. It's dry. Anyway, Nathan.
Hey, Sean. Before we move on, what I was saying there about the movies with the Poltergeist,
the
go
Exorcist,
ahead. With all these things, that they're just playing on these names because they know
they make money.
They can get 100,000 people sitting in the seats the first weekend,
and they'll make
by putting
millions.
the title Poltergeist on it.
That's right. For the nostalgic factor alone.
That first weekend is all that really matters to them, it seems, because a lot of people don't know how movies work, but that first weekend determines what their, profits are going to be.
That's it, yeah.
And the longer a movie stays in the movie house, the more the movie theaters make off of it, the less the production companies make off of it.
Right.
So if they can get it in and out in 2 weeks and make a profit, they're thrilled because they're pretty much paying the movie theaters nothing.
Right.
Which is why popcorn is $8 a bag.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous, by the way.
Because the movie theaters don't make money on the movies.
Yeah, it's still ridiculous. You don't have to pay that much for popcorn. Bring your own popcorn in, guys.
Well, how much would you pay if you went to a Yankees game?
I don't know. I don't like the Yankees.
How much would you pay if you went to a sports game that you like?
Red Sox or Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, what would you pay for popcorn at a Colts game?
$5 with a beer. No, I'm sorry. Not with a beer. $5.
$5, and it's probably about half the size of the popcorn you get at the movie theater.
You got a point there, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Anyway, so tonight's guest is a magician, a dark illusionist, right? A young magician working his way up to the big lights, right?
That's right.
I thought I would look up a topic real quick. I know we're running short because you started blabbing again, but 25...
Oh, well, excuse me.
Excuse me for talking on our talk show. Anyway, 25 most impressive magic tricks ever.
Okay.
Huh? Now, were you a magic lover? I grew up.
I was a huge magic lover.
See, I still am. I
think most kids who weren't incredibly popular in school really loved magic.
That's not necessarily true. I think it was the children, and people, make fun of this. It was the kids that were intriguing, interesting human beings that just weren't, mind.
The weirdos nobody would hang out with. Yes,
the ones that were actually interesting. But 25 most impressive magic tricks. I used to love it. Go to a magic store, I'd see the dark
and nobody
pictures.
liked you, Sean. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I was so popular. But the posters of Houdini with the dark eyes peering through your soul, and I love those. I still have those posters up in the house of Houdini. But the 25 most impressive magic tricks ever. Okay. It says there's been something mystical about.
Let's go.
We're going to do it. There's been something mystical about magic that always captivates the imagination. Magicians have a special ability to magnetize an audience with flashes, style, and presentations. We can't help but to be big fans of those who do tricks that can fool the eye. Huh?
Okay.
Then again, some of these presentations are so shocking, Nathan. Huh? And astounding that they leave you wondering, are they really tricks? If you're a skeptic, you may just become a believer after watching these 25 most impressive magic tricks. You're not going to be able to watch, guys.
At one show, the magician sawed Sean's genitals in half.
Yeah.
And nobody could tell any difference.
Yes. And after they came back, I was the largest man in the planet. Okay, number 25. We'll count them down real quick. David Blaine, Frozen in Time. You remember this?
I do. I remember watching that.
November 27, 2000. Millions of viewers around the world watched David Blaine as he performed one of the most dangerous magic tricks covered on a TV special. He was encased in the ice for 63 hours, 42 minutes, and 15 seconds before he
when we were all watching like crazy.
Yeah. After he was removed, he had to go to the hospital. He was disoriented.
Well,
you would think he was
encased in ice for.
Now, the next one my aunt loved that we've asked him to be on the show. His people have responded with he's busy. Number 24, The Vanishing of the Statue of Liberty.
I remember watching that, and I was amazed.
Oh, it was amazing. And of course, it was the Mr. Copperfield, the great David Copperfield, in 1983. He was able to make the Statue of Liberty disappear on live TV.
Now, I know we're trying to get him on the show, but I just have to say, you think with all that magical power, he could make some of those eyebrows disappear.
If you don't want to come on the show, David Copperfield, make yourself disappear, sir. Hey, we did book, and we can go ahead and tell you guys this. Nathan, what is one of the greatest magicians that has ever walked this planet that was headlining in Vegas for years? Do you remember the guy that we got?
Headlining in Vegas?
Mr. Lance Burton, guys.
Oh.
Master illusionist, Vegas top performer. Will be on the show. We just got to work out a date. He's already agreed with our people.
I thought you were saying somebody who had already been on the show. I was like, did I miss a show?
Oh,
what are
no.
you talking
Well, you probably did. He's probably drunk. But no, he is coming on the show. He's actually filming a movie right now. And as soon as he's done with the movie, he wants to come on and promote it. So we got Lance Burton, man.
Yes!
Lance Burton. That's a big one. If you guys don't know who he is, you're nuts. So number 23, head removal. So I never seen this one, but it was illusionist.
I thought that was that trick I just mentioned that you were a part of.
Circumcision joke. Illusionist Cyril Takayama, must be an Englishman, had the world gasping when he performed the illusion of removing his head. He's a famous magician in Japan with a French descent. To the rest of the world, he's known for his signature magic trick where his head falls off his shoulders. Have you ever seen those?
I have not.
David Copperfield, levitation number 22. David Copperfield, and he's listed again for being able to come up with a brilliant illusion despite not having any technology gadget around during his time. He was able to show himself levitating in the Grand Canyon.
I kind of do remember that.
I remember it a little bit.
I used to watch those shows religiously.
Oh, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Number 21, Nathan. Pendragon's Metamorphosis. You've heard of the trick. The magic is not just about the final result, but about the presentation and creativity, of course. Aside from being the fastest magic illusion performers, the Pendragons, it's all one word. So it's
Pendragons.
Yeah. Pendragons. It would be Pendragons if they were split, but it's Pendragons if it's one. Just like mine, it's Ghostman. I put it together, and they say Ghostman. See? Yeah. So are also creative and are able to truly entertain the viewers. So apparently they did an amazing metamorphosis trick where they both went into the trunk, and instead of you've seen it, one guy goes in the trunk and then the lady pops out. You know what I'm talking about, right? Well, apparently they both went in the trunk and popped out. Or they both went in the trunk and didn't pop out. They were gone. Trunk collapsed and they were out of there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good trick, man. I love that stuff.
I'm impressed. Yeah,
well, not all of them can be winners.
Statue of Liberty's disappearing. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's kind of... I actually watched a thing on how they thought that happened.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I would like to see how they thought, because I've watched the one where they show you how the elephant disappears.
I don't know. I cannot say it on the show. I will not reveal magic secrets. I am a magician. I consider myself in the Brotherhood of Magic, but I'm not, of course, because I'm no good. But I would like to think I am, and I just will not reveal secrets. If you guys want to see it, go on YouTube and ask, how is the Statue of Liberty done? They'll review magic.
Well, that's how people find out the secrets of my Masonic order.
See? Hey, did you hear about this chick, man, about the sex with Bigfoot?
Yes, I posted that.
Hey, let's start the news segment before we do that.
Are we done with the 25?
Oh, no, I just want to do 5 of them. There's no way I can run through all 20.
Okay.
We're out of time, guys.
Hey, anywhere in there was
Top 5.
there the one where the guy levitated on the streets of Las Vegas?
Chris Angel?
Chris Angel.
No, they didn't put him.
Was he anywhere in there?
No, I think this was posted before him.
Oh, okay.
Whatever happened to Chris Angel? He was doing Mind Freak, which I like the show, but he must have got a big signing contract with a big hotel down there, because you don't see nothing no more.
Yeah.
Had to. Anyway, in the news! That's tonight's guest. We'll cover that a little later. We covered it before. G&D show in the news. Today's strange news. It's always fresh, always exciting. It's strange, weird, and it's straight from the G&D stuff. It starts right now. Oh, man, I tongue-tied it. I ran out of time. It's straight from the G&D show vault, and it starts right
now.
There you go. I'm sorry, brother. I messed it up. That Corona's kicking in. Corona Extra.
Thanks to Corona for bringing the Ghostman and Demon Hunter show to life tonight. Hey, folks, if you're sitting there with a Corona and you're about to listen to G&D in the news, remember, this is weird news.
I am.
News that Sean and I picked right out of the newspapers, off the internet, because we like the titles. We don't read them in advance, so we make a lot of mistakes, and every time we make a mistake, you take a drink. That's right, that's why they call it the G&D drinking game. Just remember, if you are doing anything important tonight, like driving while listening to the G&D show, please don't play the G&D drinking game. And if you're doing anything else important, like having dinner with the in-laws, please listen responsibly.
So I need to pull over right now, I guess.
Yes.
Drinking and doing radio live.
There you go.
So did you hear about this woman? She claims that she had a sexual relationship with the Bigfoot.
I did not hear about
Yes, you had. You just said before that you heard about it.
Yes, I did.
You lie so much. What do you have to lie
I
about?
posted it on Facebook.
Yeah, well. Woman claims she's in a sexual relationship with Bigfoot. Here we go. We mostly deal with dumb criminals and social media idiots on our website. Sounds like our website. But we found this story so darn bizarre we had to share it. Huh?
Please, tell me more.
Thanks, culture people, for giving us this one. Anyway, Belfair, Washington, Nancy Hoggart says... Nancy Hoggart... Drink, guys. I stuttered. She told Bigfoot Tracker that she and the infamous Bigfoot have been in a sexual relationship since 2008 and are trying to start a family.
Oh.
Huh?
Them some hairy babies.
She says it's hairy nice. So anyway, her and the Bigfoot trying to start a family, right? So I wish them all the best, right? But anyway, so trying to start a family. She claims that Bigfoot, she lives in Mason County, Washington, and that she first encountered the beast while tending to her marijuana grow. Who says
that explains a lot.
Okay, she's from the United States. Who says marijuana grow? Wouldn't it be marijuana crops or?
Well, maybe they were trying to say grove and they...
There's no marijuana grove.
Well, maybe she has a grove where she plants marijuana.
It's a garden with marijuana. You guys, get on Twitter and tell us, is it marijuana grove, field, crops, or what this idiot said, marijuana grow? Anyway, Bigfoot was standing there eating all the buds off my plants, Hoggart said. At first I wanted to run because he's very scary, but I thought he might eat all of my marijuana plants, and that's how I used to make a living. I pointed my shotgun at him. Ooh, she got a shotgun all of a sudden. And he put up his hand, scared. Yeah, that's when I looked down and noticed he had a huge erection between his legs. I hadn't gotten any in a while, and well, from there, it somehow turned into an adult movie. I don't know if he started it or I did. He did me. Apparently, it was from behind, that kind of thing. And she said it felt great. It was hairy nice.
Well, remember we had Mitchell Townsend on there. He said that Bigfoot was just gonna appear one day, and
apparently he did appear with a raging boner. I don't know. That's crazy. Anyway, Bigfoot.
Hey, I'm looking up marijuana grove, Sean, and there's a lot of marijuana groves here on the internet.
It says marijuana grows.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Grove, grove.
Anyway, this chick says she's trying to have a baby. With no luck thus far, but she is confident it will happen even though she is 52. Once I'm pregnant, Bigfoot, or John as I call him, and I are going to settle down and live a quiet, domesticated life in my house. He loves living...
Of course.
Yeah, well, yeah. He loves living in the forest, but I'm sick of the long-distance relationship. I have to commute for 3 hours to be with my man. It's getting old, and gas is expensive these days. Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's that's the problem there. Those long distance relationships.
Well, yeah, and she's going to court, Demon Hunter, and she's going to the city county building, whatever, and she's going to legally change her name to Nancy Bigfoot.
Because that's his last name, obviously.
Well, yeah, Bigfoot's his first name's John, apparently. That's what she calls him. So John Bigfoot is Bigfoot's. The mystery of the Sasquatch, guys, has been solved. His
There you
name
go.
is John Bigfoot.
John Bigfoot.
That's what. Anyway, of
Big
course.
feet.
All
Sorry,
right. Says
Hobbit
the
joke.
big question: will she reveal Bigfoot to the public, Nathan? Huh, Shadow Nation?
There's an issue right there.
I want to meet John. Will humanity finally have living proof of the mythological creature? The mythological creature. I said mythological twice. The creature is real. Will we have proof of that? Nah. Hoggart said regarding presenting Bigfoot to the world, government scientists will just take and dissect him or try to turn him into a soldier to fight ISIS or something. Or something. You know how the government is, she said. No,
you
we
think
don't.
ISIS would run if we showed up with Bigfoot?
I think they would. I think they would run if they showed up on my street. Just like they said, ISIS says, we have 73 idiots that are ready to attack in America. And they had something up there that said, well, congratulations, we have the South. So, I mean, it's weak, dude. It's coward crap. You don't even want me to get going on that. ISIS is nothing.
No,
No,
I
ISIS
wanna go
is
there.
nothing. Anyway, there that is. Woman claims she's having sex with Bigfoot, and apparently he likes it doggy style. Doing it doggy style.
They're gonna rename it Bigfoot style.
Bigfoot
Sasquatch style.
We should get that started.
Sasquatch style, Sean.
We should get that started. That's good. That's yours. I'm gonna let you have
That's mine.
I'll let
I can trademark that one.
it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you have it.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No problem. That's what I do. So what else? What do you got here? What's going on? What's in the vault, man?
Let's see what I've got here. Hey, I've got a little note here, Sean. I just got to throw this out for my friends over at Madstar Mobile, madstarmobile.com.
What's up, Madstar?
This is not an advertisement for Madstar Mobile. I just happen to know these folks. And being a Master Mason, Sean,
Yeah.
I want to throw this out for them that Madstar Mobile is putting together a Master Mobile, which is Master Mason Mobile for Masons.
Oh.
You can pay your monthly mobile bill that you already pay now, but now a portion of that will go to help a charity, which is what Masons are all about.
Yeah,
So I
very
did want
nice.
to throw that out. You can find that more information out about that at madstarmobile.com.
Now, are
So
they
now-
going to sponsor us or?
Well, actually, they're the folks that hooked us up, Sean, with sorry.
Our
They're the folks that
marijuana
hooked
grow?
us up with Action Audio apps.
Oh yeah, our marijuana grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, our marijuana grow. There
Well,
you
we
go.
actually do Action Audio, courtesy by we
Yeah,
bang them out
yeah.
every day. We love Action Audio. They love us. It's a mutual thing.
It's a mutual feeling.
It
But
is.
this is more just something I wanted to shout out for my friends there.
Well, that's good, man.
Because I'm a Mason, and it is a thing for Masons. They can go out there and join a phone group
Yeah.
where they get their regular national phone service, but they're also helping a charity.
You gotta have
So-
it, Mason Pride, man. Hey, you gotta read that cable network to air. I don't want to take it away from you, but I gotta hear it. I haven't even read it yet.
Cable network to air. Well, I haven't gotten to that one yet. I just wanted to throw this out being a cat lover, Sean. Cat found alive aboard sunken boat.
Oh,
Have to throw this out here.
You gotta
It comes
do
from
that.
Arizona, Huffington Post and AP Associated Press News. A trapped, hungry, wet, scared cat
Oh.
is now safe after he was found tucked away in a boat that had sunk to the bottom of Lake. Have a drink, folks.
so it was a wet.
Havasu.
Come on.
Havasu, Lake Havasu.
Oh.
Today, the News Herald reports
Wet.
the brown and black American short-haired breed was
Hey.
found when the boat was brought ashore
Okay.
by dive team recovery owner John Zukla.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
That's nice.
It's unaware
American.
who the cat belongs to, if anyone, and the Western Arizona Humane Society workers named the cat River.
Okay. Yeah.
Zukula
Zakuna drink.
Zakula says the river has been in the water. That river has been in the water. Have a drink, folks.
You made me
for at
choke
least
with
an
your-
hour
Bad reading.
and was alive, though frigid when she was, or frightened when she was first spotted at the front of the storage compartment.
Okay.
So he said that the cat must have stowed away sometime before the boat owner left Orange County, California, and said that River was his cat. If the owner doesn't step forward this week, River will be eligible for adoption.
Oh, you can adopt
Have
it.
at least 3 drinks on me there, folks.
Why don't you do 1, 2, 3? You guys drink it up. Cable network. We gotta get through this fast. Cable network to air first live exorcism in house that inspired the 1973 horror film.
There you go.
Huh? Exorcism Live will show exactly what is inside the infamous, highly dangerous, and possessed home. Destination America General Manager Mark Etkind said. Destination America's locking it down, man. Here we go. New York, Nathan. August 1st, out of the UPI, a reality television first is scheduled for the eve of Halloween this year. The telecast of a live exorcism. Now, this is going to be big. Yeah.
Sounds big to me.
Discovery Channel's Destination America network will air Exorcism Live on October 30th. The program will revisit the real-life story and the house that inspired William Peter Blatty's 1971 novel and William Friedkin's 1973 film, both titled The Exorcist. The Hollywood Reporter reported on Friday. Try to say that 3 times. Reported on Friday. The film, starring Linda Blair and Max von Sydow, drink up, guys, focuses on a demonically possessed girl, priest efforts to rid the devil from her body. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out, The Exorcist. The film was based on an actual event in St. Louis in 1949, which will observe its 66th anniversary this year. No one has ever attempted to rid the lurking spirits and demons that inhabit this home. Oh, I thought it was a person going to get exorcised. It's the home. It's the home they're going to do. They're going to ride. Oh, come on, guys. A team of paranormal investigators will go through the house using modern ghost hunting technology.
Oh, well, then it must be real.
Well, yeah, that's what the Hollywood Reporter said. They're going to use, Viewers will also be able to add to their experience by viewing a number of live cameras placed throughout the home and communicate via social media. The Los Angeles Times reported on that. As we step into one of the most haunted and well-known spirit destinations in America, Exorcism Live will show exactly what is inside this infamous, highly dangerous, and possessed home. Destination America General Manager Mark Etkin said, by actually exercising this iconic house live, Destination America will do what it does best, bringing never-before-seen experiences to television. That's it, guys. October 30th, 2015, 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central, Exorcism Live, Destination America. I'll be watching, probably.
There you go. Hey, Sean, I know we want to go to the
we have to,
the next segment, but I just wanted to say there, for all of you who are watching Hitchbot, that's the hitchhiking robot that was making its U.S. tour.
Yeah.
The travel has ended.
Really?
Hitchbot, the hitchhiking robot, which relied on the kindness of strangers, with its little note on its chest that said San Francisco or bust.
Somebody ran it over.
Hitchbot has been cut short after someone in Philadelphia damaged the robot beyond repair.
Are you serious? America!
There you go. It's
I knew that was going to happen. Do you guys know what, the streets are about? I mean, my God. You're just going to put an expensive robot out there. These people are weirdos, man. Anyway, guys.
It looks like a garbage can with a speaker in the legs. But...
Yeah, it does. But it was a cute idea. It was a, gimmick to steal headlines, and it did for a while. Maybe we need to put a microwave out there.
Thank you to the Sky News.
Yeah, thanks, Sky News. Thanks, Huffington Post. But now it's time for a G&D original series.
Legend X.
Legend X, guys, where each week Nathan and myself scour the universe, or at least the United States. We try to bring you the latest and greatest in legends to find out if there's any facts to it, or if it's totally bogus. Huh?
Bogus?
Bogus, you say? This week's...
Why would somebody tell a story that was bogus?
I don't know. This week's Legend X is... You could at least say the name. The Snallygaster.
I was trying to say it. I really was.
Jesus. The Snallygaster is a mythical dragon-like beast said to inhabit the hills surrounding Washington, D.C. and Frederick counties in Maryland. Yeah. Here we go, guys. The area was settled by German immigrants beginning in the 1730s, right? You guys hear that? Wait, I might be reading the wrong one.
1730s, Sean.
What did I say?
You said 1930s.
I don't know. Anyway, the area was settled.
That, folks. It's not the news anymore.
The area was settled by German immigrants beginning in the 1730s. Early accounts described the community being terrorized by a monster called a schneller Geist, meaning quick spirit in German. The earliest incarnations mixed the half-bird features of a siren, with the nightmarish features of demons and ghouls. The Snallygaster was described as half reptile, half bird, with a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth, occasionally with octopus-like tentacles. It swoops silently from the sky to pick up and carry off its victims. The earliest stories claim that this monster sucked the blood of its victims. 7-pointed stars, which reputedly kept the Snallygaster at bay, can still be seen painted on local barns. There you go, Nathan.
Yeah.
It has been suggested the legend was resurrected in the 19th century to frighten freed slaves. Newspaper accounts throughout February and March of 1909 describe encounters between local residents and a beast with enormous wings, a long pointed bill, claws like steel hooks, and an eye in the center of its forehead. It was described as making screeches like a locomotive whistle.
I think I dated that girl.
I did too. She screeched. She screeched so good. A great deal of publicity surrounded this string of appearances, with the Smithsonian Institution offering a reward for the hide. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt reportedly considering postponing an African safari to personally hunt the beast. Huh? Yeah.
Well, he did have a thing for the supernatural. He
loved it. He believed in
loved
Bigfoot. Yeah. In 2008, author Patrick Boyton published a book about the history of the Snallygaster, entitled Snallygaster, The Lost Legend of Frederick County. The Snallygaster has one widely known enemy called Diwayo. The Diwayo is reported to be a mammalian bite with features similar to a wolf, but the stance and stature of a human. The sightings of Diwayo are primarily reported in West Middleton, Maryland, but sightings have also been reported in the Wolfsville, Maryland region. The Diwayo.
Wolfsville.
Yeah, Wolfsville. The Diwayo and the Snallygaster have reportedly had vicious encounters dating back to the early settlement of Middletown Valley. There you go. This week's Legend X, guys, the Snallygaster. So if you're out in Washington, D.C., not only can you take in the White House tour, you can look for the Snallygaster.
From the sounds of it, the Snallygaster has already gone to work in Congress. So.
Tonight's guest!
Dun dun dun.
Since he was young, boy, he's been fascinated with magic, guys. He's amazed and stunned crowds from all over. From Scarefest, Comic-Con, and much more. Tonight, Master Illusionist Reed Masterson stops by. He's going to tell us what it's like behind the scenes of a real-life young magician on his way to big things and possibly the bright lights of Vegas, baby. Woohoo! Who knows? I'm going to ask him about it. That's where all magicians eventually go, right? If they're great, that's the top, right?
To Vegas?
Yeah.
You don't want to be that Atlantic City magician.
No, you don't want to do that. Anyway, Demon Hunter.
GhostMan.
Shadow Nation.
Snallygaster.
Snallygaster.
I got it right. I said it. Yeah.
Oh, Snallygaster. Anyway, guys, each week we play a new band, an independent band. We support and love the little man around here. Tonight's band, name of the band, Spittix. We got to find out, is it Spidekicks or Spittix? It's together, so Spittix. Anyway, name of the band,
Okay,
Spittix. Ghostman. Name of the band, Spittix. Name of the song, Disco Bunny. Nathan.
GhostMan, Sean Burris.
Shadow Nation. We'll be right back.
So make way for the disco bunny to get frisky and start hopping around funny. Especially when I get 2 drinks in my tummy. I'm in my element and everything looks funny. So make way for the disco bunny to get frisky and start hopping around funny. Especially when I get 2 drinks in my tummy. I'm in my element and everything looks funny.
Come back here. This is Scott Wilson from The Walking Dead, and you're listening to the GhostMan&Demon Hunter Show.
Hey, welcome back, Shadow Nation, to the one, the only mystifying Oracle of Radio, your Ghostman&Demon Hunter show. Tonight's guest, since he was a young age, he has been fascinated with magic. He has amazed and stunned crowds across the country with what some call his dark illusions. He packs theaters event after event, from Scarefest to Comic-Con and many more. Shadow Nation, please help us welcome the Dark Master of Illusion, Mr. Reed Masterson from ImpossibleMagic.net. Reed, what's going on, brother?
How's it going, guys?
The Dark Illusionist. Did you like that? Did you like that intro?
Yeah, sounded pretty good. I don't know that I've ever heard that before, so we're off to a good start.
I'm the magic man of intros for you. Watch me make this coin disappear here. Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
See, I love on-air magic. Yeah.
Magic on the air.
Sean loves magic so much.
times.
He's been trying to bring it live on the radio for years, and our listeners keep saying, "I can't see that. What is he doing?"
Yeah. No, I told Reed the secrets of my magic. He wasn't impressed. I told him my act, my 2 tricks. But hey, Reed, we got you on the show, man. I know you're busy. Happy birthday, by the way. Late birthday, early birthday.
Actually, you're late. It was yesterday.
Oh, well, happy birthday. We celebrated.
Actually, today's Ashton's birthday. Ashton Nicole.
Oh, Ashton.
Shout out.
Happy birthday to the wife. Yeah, man. But we were talking about this earlier. Now, for a magician, we've had we've had you on, and up next is, of course, we talked about earlier, Mr. Lance Burton, and we love magicians on the show. We've always supported them because I loved them since I was young, man. I remember
Let's
walking.
not forget our regular magician on the show, Sean, Professor Slim King.
Yeah, Professor Slim King, the mind reader, the future predictor.
Yes.
That's what he does. He sends us boxes of stuff, and he'll do things. But Reed, what I was going to say, since I was a kid, brother, I remember walking into the Houdini, the magic shops, and there would be posters of a great Houdini with his hands tied or going into the milk jug. And, his eyes, everything just entranced me. What was it like growing up in Kentucky as a young, Reed Masterson? Where did it all start for you, man?
Oh man, my story's not that cool. I mean, I didn't. I grew up reading magic books out of the library.
That's it?
I didn't. I kind of, be completely honest with you, I grew up poor, so we didn't have. I'm still a young guy. I'm only 26 as of yesterday, and I had a black and white TV. So I mean, literally, I grew up in the Stone Age, way older than I actually am. So I didn't have internet until I was like 15, and so growing up doing magic for me was crazy because it was go to the library and read as much as I possibly could, and then go home and destroy everything I could trying to build magic props out of stuff I had at my house with no money. So I mean that's pretty much how I started. And then when I was about 14, I started doing birthday parties and stuff full time, and then kind of just took off from there. And obviously now we're doing a lot better than going to the library, but
Right.
That's pretty much it.
Wow. So when did you realize this is what you were going to do, man? This is it, baby. I'm done. Well, this is my life.
Yeah, I was 6 years old actually. I have a great aunt, and she was always, she's more or less my mom and my dad. So she's always been my number one lady. And I was actually at her house for the weekend. I was about 6 years old, and there was a show that came on the TV. Now she had color TV and all that good stuff. So
right.
There was a show. She was reading through the TV guide, which is something that's a thing of the past. And
yeah.
But she was like, "Hey, there's a magic show on TV, and do you want to watch it?" And I was sitting on the floor, and of course I was 6 years old. What 6-year-old doesn't want to watch a magic show?
Exactly.
But yeah, I was like, "Yeah, sure, turn it on." And she turned it on, and it was called World's Greatest Magic. It was hosted by John Ritter.
Oh yeah.
And there was a ton of magicians on there, and it went on for like 4 seasons. But that particular evening, there was a couple on there named the Pendragons. It was Jonathan and Charlotte Pendragon.
We just talked about them.
And they banished 25 Las Vegas showgirls within a second, and they reappeared in the back of the audience. And it blew my mind. Like I was out of everything I'd seen, out of everybody do that night, it's 25 live people disappearing, instantaneously and reappearing in the back of the audience.
Now listen, Reed, I don't know if I can make 25 Vegas showgirls disappear, but I tell you what I can do.
Sure you can, Sean. All you gotta do is ask them out on a date.
I can try. I'm an Indiana kid, man. I'm right there on the Kentucky. Most of my family's from Irvine, Kentucky. So, that's the best I can do with showgirls. I can try it. Ooh, that's my magic.
So yeah, that was what I started out doing. I mean, that's when I was like, I looked at my aunt like that, that night, and I was like, hey, I want to do magic. And what was really cool about that show was there was a guy on there. His name's Matt King, and he's a Las Vegas headliner, but he's a comic magician. He's actually born and raised in Louisville. Went to the same high school with him, and Lance Burton graduated the same class. So they went to Las Vegas together. Pretty much, they're best friends. And but Matt King had a segment on that show called, Matt King's School of Magic, and he would teach you cool little easy to do magic tricks with stuff you had at your house. So, I learned how to do a few things, and that's really how I got started going at it, like learning how to do some things. Because he would do stuff with napkins and paper cups and silverware and carrots and,
Right.
We had stuff like that. So
no, I've caught him stuff on YouTube. I still caught that out there. But listen, you what was your very first? Was it the old disappearing handkerchief type thing? Because I will not tell people how tricks are done on the air. I believe myself to be in the brotherhood of magicians, even though I'm not. I don't think I could afford that out there in California. But I believe myself to be in there. I will not tell how something's done, even so much as the handkerchief. What was your first one? Your first trick you learned? And perfected.
Well, I mean, the very first thing I learned, which was watching TV that night, Matt King taught a trick where you would have somebody pick a card out of the deck, and you would rip it up, and you'd put it inside of an envelope, and you'd shake the envelope, and when you open the envelope, the card would be restored.
Yeah.
And that was and it was all using things around the house. And the very, very first thing, like I said, young, we didn't really have a lot of money, so I didn't get cool magic kits or anything like that until I was older. And then my aunt, bought me a few magic kits for Christmas and stuff as I got really interested in it. But the very first thing I ever did was that. And I actually taught a college class a few years ago on magic, and I taught that trick during that college class. So it was come full swing, I guess,
Oh, yeah. And, it's an amazing story you have because, Nathan grew up poor. I grew up poor. You grew up poor. We didn't have a bunch of stuff like that. I did have a black and white TV. I know Nathan. I don't even think you had a TV, did you, Nate? Yeah, well, apparently he went to sleep or he took himself out of the mix. So I'll just talk to you.
I was trying to fix something there. Sorry.
You're
Sean.
always fixing something. Anyway,
No, I was saying I was without a TV for about 2 years, but we did have the black and white TV. In fact, we had the black and white TV, the small black and white TV, sitting on top of the bigger black and white TV.
Yeah.
And we used the small one on top to watch the picture, and the bigger one on the bottom was to listen to the volume. So you had to turn the channels together. Watch TV.
That was a magic trick problem within itself, man.
Because one of our the small TV, you couldn't get volume on it. The bottom TV, you couldn't get a picture. But the two of them together, it was great. It was great.
That's awesome.
So what do you say? Because how long have you been doing your stage act? When was the first time you got up on stage and said, I'm going to do this?
First time really on stage. I mean, technically, I was 15 when I started traveling with another production company, and I was an assistant to another magician, so I would help him perform his acts on stage. So I would bring out his props and whatnot, and then it got to where I actually got to help him do stuff in the show versus just bringing out a table or whatever it was. I actually got to act and stuff on stage. That was really the first time I ever did anything, and then once I started doing that with him, I entered my high school talent contest, and that was the first by myself. I was 16 years old, on-stage experience ever when I was 16. So it's been 10 years now, I guess.
10 years?
Not that long, really.
Well,
I just remember watching those specials on TV, and the one that always sticks in my mind, I can't even remember who the magician was, but he would sit there and tell you to pull an old broken watch out of your drawer. And he was going to get your broken watch to work just by you concentrating on the watch.
I remember something like that.
And, stuff like that just stuck with me, because even if it didn't, work, I'd swear my watch started ticking again.
I don't remember that one. I don't know. That's cool.
It was one of the guys who used to be one of the famous spoon benders.
Might have been Uri Geller.
That was it. It was Uri Geller. Thank you.
Gotcha. Yeah, Uri Geller.
But didn't Geller try to say it was actual psychic power, and then they got Randy the Amazing or whatever involved, and he tried to disprove this guy? Didn't he take that? He started out as a magician, and then he actually said, "No, I'm psychic." And wasn't that Geller? Wasn't that?
I think that was Uri Geller. Yeah.
Yeah, Uri Geller. I mean, Uri Geller to this very day still doesn't admit that he's not, but. He's been proven wrong by every person in the world, and now he sells jewelry on QVC. So
and his watches run forever. So.
Exactly.
He's like, and look at these brand new spoons. You can get them for $9.95, and I'm going to bend one. Yeah.
Exactly.
God, that's got to suck. He's got to want to run his car off a bridge or something, because he was on top of his game. He was on the Johnny Carson show, man.
He was on in his day, when he was on every TV show in the world that was something, he was on it. He was tested by every person in the world. He beat scientists' tests 10-1. And everybody believed that he was legit. But I mean, he's a magician. I can do the stuff that he was doing. And I don't have any psychic powers. I'm just going to tell you.
So yeah.
That brings us to Houdini. With Houdini's famous stepping out and unmasking these people who claim to be psychic powered people and could speak to the dead and could move things with their minds, and Houdini would just come in and say, "Yeah, there's a string here, blah blah blah. This is how they did it."
Reed's a huge Houdini fan, yeah.
And being a Houdini fan, all three of us, what do you ever get that urge when you hear about somebody saying that this is a magic power or anything like that to just
psychics kill me? I just go on and tell you. I don't know if you got friends that are psychics or y'all believe in whatever, but psychics is the most bogus thing I've ever seen.
Yes, it is.
And I can be a psychic right now, so it's just there's literally Sylvia Brown was the #1 psychic in the world. Look at her, Randy called her out and destroyed her, and she lost everything, and now she's dead. But I mean, she died being nothing, and at one time she was scamming the whole world.
Is she dead? I didn't know she was dead.
Yeah, she died a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, and psychics for like psychic power, stuff like that. That's one of those things that if it exists and somebody that can prove it, man, I hope it does. Like, but there's nobody out there proving it anytime soon, and there's a ton of people scamming people out of their money. That whole Long Island medium lady, I can't. Teresa Caputo or however you say it. Yeah, like
Caputo.
She's the biggest scam artist, and she's been called out so many times, but they still haven't taken her show off the air yet. So I mean, I don't know. I think she's going to be in Kentucky somewhere, like sometime later this year, doing some kind of big psychic reading or whatever.
Yeah. I just find it funny whenever somebody finds out that Sean and I do this show. One of the top 3 things I get asked after, can you introduce me to people from The Walking Dead? Can you introduce me to so-and-so? And the top 3 is always, can you introduce me to Teresa Caputo? And I'm just like, no, I can't.
We don't know her.
We don't know her.
Over the years, Reed, we've had a lot of, psychics, and on this show, we don't, tell people they're ignorant or nothing like that. We have them come on, and it's for the Shadow Nation, for the listeners around
to make up their own minds about them.
Even though it's hard to leave my opinion out sometimes. It really is. Isn't it, Nate? It's hard, but I mean, it's a lot of it's magic, and you can't even say magic. A magician puts in a lot of work. A psychic it's
learns
all
to cold read people.
Yes.
It's an art form. It really is.
Sure
The people that do it and do it good, they know what they're doing. And like I said, if there's somebody out there that's legit, I hope there is. And I'm one of those people that innocent until proven guilty type people. So if they're doing it and nobody's ever caught them out on it, maybe they're legit or whatever. But you can't name me one right now. That probably couldn't be proven wrong. And I've got a couple friends that are supposedly psychic, and do all these readings and stuff, and do tarot cards and all that stuff. And I just, it's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
And I think I do believe in the spirit realm. Seeing's believing. I've heard it. I've seen strange things. I grew up with it. I loved magic. I grew up a lone kid. I didn't have many friends around the house there, and the house we lived in had strange things happen. Now, whether that was demonic or a ghost of somebody that lived there before, or psychic powers of my mind that I wish I had those back.
Or bad floorboards and heating systems.
I don't know. I don't think those could make things appear. The stuff I've seen in the house.
I know. I just have to make fun of you.
Yeah, but I've seen these things, so it's hard when and there's a lot of scam artists out there. I think some people might feel some things. I don't think they can do a lot of. I know they can't do a lot of what they claim, but I think we all feel things. I've been in rooms before where people said, told me afterwards there was something that happened in this room, somebody died or whatever, and I felt a weird feeling in the room. Now, who knows what that is? What do you think about that, Reed? You think people normally can pick up different, energy in a room or something? Not know what's going on.
We're all energy is what we're made out of. There's no. Every type of, there's so many waveforms out there that we don't know about, so there's anything's possible in that aspect, in my opinion. It's just the whole psychic thing is, people are making a lot of money off of dead people's loved ones. And I think, even as a novelty, thing, if you want to go and novelty and it's like this is entertainment purposes only or whatever, it's cool, it's crazy, but when you take a person that's portraying a psychic, but you also have magicians that portray mentalists, and which is the exact same thing. I can read your mind, I can predict the future, I can tell you this and that and blah blah blah, but I'm telling you that I'm
an entertainer.
It's a novelty, that's what it is. Where psychics aren't, and they're using the same techniques that I use. So that's what bothers me. But that's not saying that there's not a possibility or anything. But I totally believe that people could pick up different energies or whatever. Obviously everything is
energy
connected and intertwined, and there's so much that we don't know. I'm one of those people, like I said, innocent until proven guilty or whatever, or, I don't disbelieve something until it's completely outruled, so and there's so much of the world that the human race doesn't even have a clue about. We know more about outer space than we do about our own planet. So, definitely a possibility.
Yeah. We've seen Mars, but we can't discover all the things that live at the bottom of our ocean yet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Reed, you create your illusions. They're your creations. It's an art form. You create it. Has there ever been one that you've been out there trying to put together that no matter what you do, you get the idea, you start putting it together, and no matter what you do, you can't make it work the way you want it to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got stuff that I've been working on for years and that nobody's ever seen. Yeah. I'm working on something right now that I hope and pray and to whoever or whatever that it's in the show by September of this year. And I've been working on it for like five years. Yeah. and I don't know if it's going to happen by September, but that's my goal, but it was my goal, like 2 years ago to have it happen, and then it was my goal like 3 years ago to have it happen, and then,
you gotta perfect it.
So there's always something. There's always some obstacle.
Yeah. Now, what do you like when Houdini? And I don't know if you watch that special on TV. I've always been interested in Houdini, so I read up on him. That was a great one, by the way, on History Channel. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched it. I have it. I bought it as soon as it came out on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. It's not historically accurate,
right,
which is something I didn't like because it's the History Channel. But it was very entertaining. So it's one of those, you sacrifice one for the other. But the fact that it was on the History Channel, I thought, should be a little more.
The idea of historical fiction just bothers me because you can't have historical fiction.
So, but they took it. It's no different than, it's everything else. It's based on a true story.
Yeah.
It would have been the closest, if it was an actual movie, it would have been the closest movie ever made based on a true story. You take like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on a true story. Yeah, no, it was. It was based on like 15 different things, and then they combined their own thing and made it one thing, and then some guy had a random little idea based off of a serial killer 100 years ago.
Made millions.
And then they took it way. It wasn't based, a totally different story.
We had Leatherface on a couple weeks ago, didn't we, Nate?
We had 3D Leatherface.
3D. Texas Chainsaw 3D.
3D. Who was that?
Dan Yeager.
Okay, I don't know him. See, I know R.A. Millihoff and
the original.
The original one. Man, I just went blank there.
Yeah, well, you're going to run into him at some festival you work. So we cut out Reed. Reed knows the name, but he cut out there for a second.
Yeah, I can't think. I just went blank. I can't think of his name.
Oh, who played Leatherface?
Yeah, the very first guy.
Yeah. You're going to sit there and Google and try to act like you know, Nathan.
No, because remember, Sean, I just met him last week.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, you can't remember. That was Reed's.
And I can't remember. I just...
Well, I've met him like 20 times. So, like Gunnar Hansen.
Gunnar
Hansen. And we were actually in talks with him to have him on the show.
Yeah.
So now he won't come on the show because I forgot his name.
Now listen, there's all types of magicians. There's magicians that, and as your promo video says, if you want top hats and bunny rabbits and balloons, this ain't for you. When you were developing your act, what made you, because a lot of people call you the dark illusionist, and you're getting a lot of attention, you have for a long time, and being a Kentucky boy, that says a lot, because the last big magician come out there, of course, was Lance Burton. So Hollywood, Vegas specifically, has their eye on, the Midwest and Kentucky and stuff like that. So when you were developing your act, who inspired the dark, what do you call your act that you came up with? Do you consider it paranormal type, genre? What do you think?
Man, I'll be completely honest. I'm still developing my act. I'm still developing me, and I'm rebranding my whole show at this very moment. So from our costumes and our makeup styles to our, to the stuff we perform, our website, and here in the next 2 or 3 days, everything will be completely changed. So, it's evolution. It's
Oh,
still
yeah.
changing, but there's been a lot of. I mean, I started out just like everybody else. I started out, colorful silks and feathered flowers and balloon animals and all that birthday parties and I just I kept trying to be different. I can't say that any one person really set the boundaries for me or anything like that. There is a magician. His name's Dan Sperry. Now, if you think like something, he's crazy.
He's in the Illusionist, right?
They've described, the Illusionist show. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. They've described him as Marilyn Manson meets David Copperfield.
He is, yeah.
He's awesome. I mean, he's amazing. So you're talking dark. They actually call him the shock illusionist. So he got some crazy stuff. So, but yeah, I've always been kind of. I grew up on rock music. I grew up on Cinderella and Alice Cooper and Alice in Chains and Guns N' Roses and Metallica. That kind of stuff. So and I grew up in the country with holey jeans and boots and black T-shirts and that was just the lifestyle that I grew up in and when I started performing actually on stage and stuff, I tried to be your typical magician. I wore a suit and a sparkly shirt and
right.
I've always had spiked up hair, but it's been in transition for years and now I have kind of my signature hairstyle that everybody talks about or whatever, but it's always kind of been a developing process, and now I'm finally. It's one of the things where I kind of had to start out being somebody else because the market that I was playing to would only allow that type of person, and now it's getting to the point to where the markets want me, and they want me for me, not for somebody else and whatever. So I don't do children's birthday parties and stuff anymore. Not saying I wouldn't. I just it's just not something we.
If it was a weird enough child, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I mean,
Cameras are rolling.
It's just I finally get to be me is what it is. It's kind of just I finally get to come full swing and turn it all around and go back into Alice Cooper and playing rock music at my shows instead of the newest, nicest stuff, and doing shows for teens and adults and that crowd. So we try and do things that are different, stuff that people don't ever see. I mean, some of the stuff we do people see like on TV and whatnot, but as a live performance, it's you don't see the kind of illusionists that we are. So it's unless you're going and seeing the Illusionist show, which, like you were talking about, Sean, they're traveling. It's the number one selling show in the world for a magic show. The number one selling show on Broadway right now. So it's the best.
Well, we worked like you, we're in a genre, and we worked the paranormal side of it with the conferences and the autograph things when we had the show, Nathan. You remember being on the road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It wears you out, man, and shaking hands, and then you're up and you're down, and people love you, and then people don't know who you are, and it goes back and forth, and it's cutthroat. I mean, let's just be honest. The world of the paranormal, anything I would imagine is it's cutthroat. People they would step on your windpipe and crack it, to get up there on stage before you. What is it? Take us backstage and tell us, what is it like when you are with other magicians and stuff like that? What is the genre like? I mean, is the world of magic cutthroat too?
It is and it isn't. It's one of those things where you were talking like the Brotherhood, the International Brotherhood of Magicians. Yeah. I'm a member of that, and it's one of those things where you meet a lot of people and you do a lot with a lot of people, and everybo's pretty welcoming. But you still, just like in any other aspect, you have the people that just want to destroy you or make you have a bad time or try try and get there before you or ride on your coattails, you know, and then as soon as you get to the finish line, they jump off your coattails and run in front of you type deal. And you always have that. I think you have that in any aspect, but there's a lot more, which, I mean, this has been my life, so I guess it's really all I have to compare it to. But you know, there's a lot of competition, but at the same time, it's a lot of cooperation. You know, everybody. You know, there's a lot of. I've worked with a ton of magicians. You know, there's a lot of successful shows that include multiple performers. I mean, for instance, Illusionist. You know, that has 7 of the world's greatest illusionists in one show.
Right.
Obviously, they're the best. You know, and they're not. They can't compete against each other, because if they compete against each other, then they can't be in the number 1 show in the world. So, you know, you get a lot. I mean, there's a lot of acceptance and stuff, but then you just have the people that, you know, that want to screw up everything. You know, just
yeah, they're out there.
The crappy ones.
Haters.
I mean,
you know,
you can solve a argument between Sean and I that started at the beginning of the show, because Sean loves magic, I love magic. Heard some of your story this evening, how you got to magic. Do you agree with me or with Sean? I say that people get into magic because they didn't have a lot of friends when they were younger.
Nope, I don't agree with that. He's saying we're geeks, Reed.
No. I mean, I was one of those kids that knew everybody and talked to everybody. I'm not saying that that's not. I mean, I might be like a diamond in the rough or something, but no, I had, you know, I knew everybody, talked to everybody knew who I was, and you know, I was always a friendly, you know, hung out with. I was one of those kids in schools that, you know, I was friends with the popular people, friends with not popular people. Everybody was my friend. Everybody wanted to hang out with me type deal. So, you know,
okay, so you agree with
and
Sean.
I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging or anything. Like, I'm just saying, you know, that wasn't the case in my opinion, you know, like for me. But that doesn't mean that it's not the case normally. So,
well, I don't know. Not everybody's like the incredible Burt Wonderstone movie, Nathan, okay?
I never got to see that. Don't ruin it for me.
You got to see the incredible Burt Wonderstone. It's amazing. That's the trick we should work on together, Reed. Me, you, and Nathan should all get together and do the incredible disappearing audience trick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was amazing. But you know what? I know we're running out of time, man, but when you're backstage, David Copperfield has been quoted as doing some kind of yoga backstage to center himself before he would go out there on the stages in Vegas and stuff. And he said, you know, after all these years, he still got, you know, butterflies and got worked up. Do you have a pre-show ritual that you and Ashton might do together? Relax or, you know, get your nerves down?
Well, I mean, not a real strict one for that matter. I drink Red Bull, you know.
Oh, that'll help nerves.
Right before every show. You know, I'm very energetic on stage, so and it wears me out. By the time the show's over, you know, I'm dead, and then I have to stand there for an hour more or hour and a half more meeting people and signing autographs and whatnot. So Red Bull helps out a lot. Usually I stretch before a show, so you know, I'm pretty flexible, so you know, I like to do that. But that's really about it. You know, I'm get my clothes on just like I always do. Put my clothes on the same way every time, and drink a Red Bull and listen to music, and then do some stretching, and that's usually about it, really.
Gives you wings. Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that stuff hurts good.
So tell us what's coming up, man. Scarefest Lockdown 2015 this week.
Yeah, this Sunday, actually. We're working on an event with Chris Deadman. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not. It's going to be a lot of people, actually, at this event. It's a benefit. It's called Lockdown 2015. It's a benefit for Unity at Journey of Hope. It's unity at journeyofhope.org. And they grant wishes, from what I understand completely. I don't have all my information up here, actually, because my computer crashed. But they grant wishes to terminally ill adults, you know, so people that, you know, want to do certain things with their lives or whatever that they're never going to have the opportunity to do. They pay for and take care of these people to do whatever they've flown people out of the country to the Bahamas and different places. They do different things like that. So it's great charity. So yeah, we're doing an event for them. It's all 100% proceeds all go to the charity, and you can get tickets. The tickets, I believe, are, if I'm not mistaken, like I said, I don't have my all of the information up here, but I got some notes wrote down.
Yeah.
The tickets are $75 per person. I think it's only limited to 50 people. It's going to be at the Mansfield Reformatory. It's going to be a huge, ghost hunt. We're going to be there all night. There's going to be food catered in. We will be doing a show. We'll be doing about an hour show prior to the ghost hunt that night. There's going to be a meet and greet. Everybody, I think there's going to be Jason Goen or Gowan. I'm not sure how you say his name's going to be there. And Rosalind Brown. Yeah, Tri-State Paranormal. Not sure if you guys are familiar with them. I actually used to be in the paranormal world, and I've not since I'm full-time performer anymore. So I'm out, and I don't know half of these people anymore. But I'm excited to meet all these people and hang out with everybody. I know Greg and Dana Newkirk. Now, you all probably haven't heard of them. They have it's called Planet Weird. They have a online forum and stuff. They do all kinds of blogs and stuff like that. But they have a traveling museum of the macabre. So like they bring in all kinds. They have like a mummified cat. They have a plank of wood from the original Amityville house. They have all kinds of stuff. They have some of Houdini's props. They have all kinds of crazy spiritually connected things. So like they have all kinds of stuff. So that's going to be their setup. And there's going to be a photographer there. She's going to be shooting professional photos and stuff that will be printed and whatnot. And they can buy copies of their favorite paranormal celebrities and all the money from the photographer that the photographer makes. She's also donating all that to the charity. So it's 100%. No money made to anybody else. Everybody's donating their time. And oh man, there was just a new person added, and I don't have the new poster here in front of me.
That's all right. We're showing it.
Keith Age is going to be there. That's who I was trying to think of. He just signed on like 2 days ago.
There's not much he doesn't do. He signs on for everything. The Kentucky guy, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I've never met him. I know about him, and I've never met him, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he's from. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good event. It's sponsored by Paramania Radio, and they can go to the website is it's lockdown2015.eventbrite.com is where you can actually purchase tickets, or they can just look at Lockdown 2015 on Facebook, and then it'll take you straight to the event page and give you all the information on there. So I think it's going to be a cool event.
What do you got coming after that, brother? You got Scarefest this year?
Yeah, we'll be at Scarefest. I think that's if I'm not mistaken, that's the 11th, 12th, and 13th of September. So we'll be there, bringing a bigger show there this year. We're actually selling tickets to that show, which you can get those on the Scarefest website, just Scarefest, thescarefest.com. And we're bringing a bigger show there, so we're going to have all of our lighting and bigger illusions and stuff. We've done small show there. We've been there every year for 7 years. This will be the 8th year, which is their 8th year, so we've been there every year. And we've always done a smaller show in one of the smaller rooms. So this year we've got a full stage and big. We have 400 seats. So
well, that'll
be a good one.
There's a lot of people listening to you right now, and where can they find out more about you, Reed? Where can they go and say, hey, I love this dude, I want to see more of his stuff?
They can go to our website. It's just impossiblemagic.net, or they can check us out on Facebook. It's just facebook.com/impossiblemagic. Instagram, it's at Reed Masterson. So you can just find us on Instagram. Twitter is at Impossible Magic, and YouTube is also youtube.com/Reed Masterson. So it's all pretty simple. And if they just go to our website, impossiblemagic.net, everything links to all of our social media accounts. So you can click on there and find everything. So it's videos, pictures, and like I said, all that's about to be updated in the next day or so. So They'll all be brand new, newly updated, everything. So that'll be cool.
Now, if there's any young magicians listening out there, you guys shouldn't be listening to our show. But if there is, what do you have to say to someone that wants to be where you're at when they grow up? Or adults that are trying to get into magic. What would you tell them? Any advice?
Don't steal my bookings.
Yeah.
No, there's 7 billion people in the world, and there's still a lot of the world that has never even been explored yet. So there's plenty of room. No, I just especially for young people. I grew up with my mother and the majority of my family. Telling me to grow up and get a real job, quit being a baby, and whatever. And now I make more money than most of them ever thought they could. So. It's just one of those things that, don't give up. I don't care what you're doing. If it's your dream, try and do it. That doesn't mean be a bum and, live off your grandparents for the rest of your life just because you want to, be a video game designer and not ever do anything. That just means don't ever stop trying. That doesn't mean you don't have to have a job in the background. I had 3 jobs from when I was 13 until I was 19. Three jobs from 13 to 19, paying my bills.
That's a magic act within itself.
Perform full time. So, and now I'm just doing magic full time. That's all I do. So, I actually owned a graphic design business for the past 3 years. I gave that up a year ago now. It was a year ago in June, actually, to do magic full time. So still all the way leading up to right now, I've had a second job, which I've been self-employed since '08, but it was doing graphic design. I had an office, I did hundreds of orders a month, I did all kinds of stuff. And now I don't do any of that, and I just do magic, full swing all the time, traveling, 13 shows a week a lot of the times. So it's a lot.
Well, Reed, I tell you, and then I'm going to let Nathan say what he wants to, but my hat's off to you, brother. You're keeping the magic alive in the world for the younger generations and for the older ones. And, it's truly a skill, an art form that is what you do, and I've seen a lot of your act, and it's amazing, guys. So, Reed Masterson, guys, check him out, absolutely. Nathan, do you have anything else to say? We got to close it.
2 quick questions. 1, Reed, is the rabbit happy inside the hat?
Is the rabbit happy? That's a myth. That was it was brought up like in Houdini's days. It was kind of an advertising scheme thing, but that was really never a staple to magic at all. Magicians never actually did it. And I'm not saying it's never been done since then, because it has been done, but it is not at all what people think it is. So it's and if I was a rabbit and I was stuck in a hat, I probably wouldn't be happy. That's just, I don't know. I don't have a rabbit or a hat.
Number 2 question. How is Harry Potter, and have you spoken to him lately?
No, we're not friends.
He's a wizard.
Yeah, we don't.
Sorry, I had to fit a Ghostbuster joke in there.
Oh,
No.
no.
But J.K. Rowling is writing another book. I do know that. So, hey, maybe he's happy.
Well, there you go. Oh, I didn't ask you one last question in closing. What do you think, and I know you've seen these YouTube videos, there's a cat out there that posts these magicians, some are, what do they call them? Google devil magicians or demonic magic magicians. And basically this guy, anybody that does anything that's really cool, says that, these are demonic acts. Have you seen this? What do you think about it? I think you answered earlier with people's special powers and stuff, but what do you think about crazy saying this stuff?
People give anybody a hard time for anything. If you want to sell car insurance, somebody's going to be saying you're using devil powers to make more money than somebody else. I don't know. So that's crazy. I'll have to look that up, though. I haven't seen it. There's always somebody calling out somebody. I did watch a video one time, and it was random, and it was it was actually a friend of mine performing, but it was like somebody had reposted the video, and it was like magic reveal, blah blah blah. And I watched this because I know the guy, and it was some douchebag that was just going on about how he had supernatural, he's in cahoots with the devil and whatever. So it might be the same guy. I don't know, but it was funny.
I see that one cat. I forget his name now. He was on America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or whatever, and he says when he was a young kid, he had a ghost that followed him around, and now that's part of his act. Have you seen that guy? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. His name's Mike Super.
Yeah, Mike Super.
Mike Super.
Yeah. So he said he has
Yeah.
a ghost. And I guess Howard Stern actually told him, he goes, man, you got to drop the ghost, dude. You're better with that. So he did some.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, real or not, you know, like, and I'm not like, I don't know the guy. As far as I know, he seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Does some cool stuff, but in my opinion, he needs to drop that because it kind of makes him seem like he's got a little imaginary friend and he's a full-grown man walking around with it. So I hope I'm not hurting anybody. He seems like he's a pretty cool dude.
Well, I tell you what, Reed, you're an awesome guy, and we support you, brother. And if you ever need anything, just let us know. Can you stay on the line 1 second?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Nathan, what do you say we close out the show? Pay the bills.
I gotta pay some bills. Okay.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check them out. Shadow Nation, Reed and Ashton, Masterson, ImpossibleMagic.net. Special thanks to all our homes, all our sponsors, Stitcher, Smart Radio, Planet Paranormal, Action Audio Apps. Hey, are you guys listening? Because they want to know, so check them out at ActionAudioApps.net. Midnight Syndicate Free Music Archives. Thanks for the tunes. From the haunted back roads of America, this has been another exclusive G&D Show interview. Don't go changing America. You know we won't. Demon Hunter.
Because we love you.
Night, guys.